Hey guys, Sahel here, and today we've got a wing tutorial. So this is going to cover feathered wings and reptilian / dragon wings. So to draw these two, I'm going to divide the paper into two parts, the top being the dragon wing and the bottom being the feathered wing. If you only want to draw one of these, you don't have to divide the paper at all. But if you want to draw both for practice, feel free to. So I'll just label these for easy navigation or organization, however you want to put it. That way you don't get confused in the sketching process. So let's start off with a basic rig. So maybe let's attach it to a back. Wait, they're attached to different places sometimes, so maybe not. Alright, so draw a circle for the shoulder, a circle for the elbow, and a circle for the thumb. Now connect these with segments. So don't worry about proportions or anything right now. I'll get into muscles later and the build of it. And start drawing in your long fingers. Think of these as fingers, 3 parts, and let's have the skin curve up like that. Some dragons have an elbow spur. If you want to add that, you can. Although I'm just going to put it into sketching here so that you guys see. And now let's think behind this flap of skin, there's going to be another segment, another finger. So let's have the stick out over there and connect to that piece to the top and connect to the elbow spur so that it goes right through the bottom one. Draw in a thumb shape if you want to. Some dragons have this, some don't. The choice is up to you depending on how your design is. Now let's work on the feathered wing. So let's draw the same 3 circles for the shoulder, elbow, and thumb. Though birds don't technically have thumbs, I guess. But yeah, more like feathered wing. It's creative liberty here. So go in and draw your segments connecting them, although you want the connections to be a little more soft. There's no defined fingers for the feathered wing. You can draw your slope, indicate a soft material, and divide it into 3 parts, like a 1:4 ratio. You can start overlapping some feathers to start off. Just draw a slope and then have that loop over itself a couple times to form feathers. Now, feathers, you can choose how they look. Some of them will be sharper, some will be flatter, some will be longer, some will be shorter. I personally like to put the shorter ones up on top and then have them get longer as you go down. Add feathers to the underside of the wing so that you have a little more volume there. And so, yeah, finish off the dragon wing. And this is your basic sketch. Now lower the opacity or go in with a thicker pencil or darker pen. Why did I say thicker pencil? Anyways, just go in with an inking tool and graze over the sketch lines. So on the dragon wing, right up there where the above the elbow, you're gonna have a little bit of muscle. So you want to curve over that as if, as if I actually wrote the word muscle in there, but that's a bad comparison, so let's not use that. Draw in your thumb if you want to. This is just a normal claw. You can have some padding over it. Now finish with the underside of the shoulder area. You can also add a little volume here if you want to. Just think of it as an arm. So if you want inspiration for that, you can look at pictures of sketched arms or just look at yourself with a t-shirt. That would be okay, never mind, just ignore that part. If you want to, I guess. It sounds really weird when I put it that way. Smooth over your elbow. It's an elbow, just make it rounded off. Or if you want, you can put a spur in. For this sketch, I'm going to round off my elbow. But here, I'm going to draw in the spur in ink, just so you guys know how to do it. So yeah, it is optional. And it really just depends on your design. If you want to add an elbow spur in to your wing to give it a little more support, you can. Although, not all designs have this. So here's what it would look like. It's just the triangle and then a rounded off point to indicate where the spike might be pointing out if it has a spike. I don't know, dragon wings have a lot of creative liberties to them. There are a lot more designs than just the one I'm drawing here. You could take away spurs, add spikes, flaps, really anything. So now do your 3-sectioned long finger thing for the wings. Clean up your lines if you need to. And then do the bottom one. Now draw in those little spikes that point out. You don't have to add these, it's just kind of how I draw them. Make sure you give it a little bit of padding. And so have them curve up as much as possible, but not all the way, so just maybe halfway to the joint of those finger things. That way it indicates a little bit of flappiness, because it is just a flap of skin connecting to finger-like appendages. Draw in your other finger, wing finger thing. I am really bad at terminology. And develop that. Connect it with the skin flap. And then connect that. So if you do have an elbow spur, your connection is going to look something like this. So that it feels like it's more attached. But here I don't have an elbow spur, so I'll just connect it to the base. And that is your basic dragon wing line art. Now for the bird wing, you're going to want to make everything a little more smooth. Birds don't have very, very well defined joints in the wings because everything's covered in feathers. So make sure you make your lines fluid, smooth, and have them all kind of cascading in that sense. So just keep developing those feathers. I think I made those a little too sharp over there. Don't make them overly rigid since everything has a kind of pull to it. See, the bottom feathers are the longest usually, but you don't have to make them that way. So have them cascade downwards as if they're being droopy or something, I guess. I don't know, I like to taper mine off at the bottom to give it a smooth look. Maybe like a broom being dragged along the floor. Then develop your elbow feathers. So I like the ones underneath the main finger joint area to be a little more flatter so it covers more area, so that if this character were to fly using these wings, then they'd be able to kind of hold more air in that area. I don't know, it's personal preference. And then finish off using those feathers. And that is your basic bird wing. So if that was a little confusing, it probably was. Don't worry, I'm going to go over some tips and details. So if you are looking for details right now, then I'm going to go over them on the dragon wing first. Alright, so the skin flap that connects these fingers, sometimes there's going to be a little bit of a stretch on it. Since if you stretch skin, there's going to be little marks on it. Just expand, not expand, but open your hand all the way, and you see there's a little bit of tension on your fingers. And also add in details if you want to, I guess. So yeah, the same way that your fingers have kind of stretch marks on them, if you stretch your fingers out, I don't know how to phrase this. Yeah, just add details to it. So on the dragon skin flap, which I am going to do eventually, you can... Wow, okay, this is badly timed, but if you want, you could add smaller feathers into your wing, feathered wing. A lot of smaller feathers. Don't go overboard, though. So some people actually like to divide their upper wing into parts so you can see those individual fingers better. Personally, I find it a little tedious, but it's up to you. Clean up your lines if you need to. And so yeah, I was talking about earlier the tension in the wing structure. So you can add some lines over there to indicate a stretch, kind of. It's optional. Some people like to do that only with shading. Some people like to put it in their line art. Some people just don't use it at all. It's really up to you. That's why I love drawing mythical creatures, because there is no defined way to draw them. So yeah, feathers tend to have a more relaxed feel. Like they're droopy, there's nothing in a feather that's going to keep it super rigid. So yeah, so I might stop drawing Wings of Fire for a little bit because the designs are a little bit too template based for how I feel dragons should be drawn. You can only go so far with Wings of Fire designs, so I might branch out a little more so you can see, you know, crazy horns that wouldn't normally be on one of the 7, 8, are there 9 now? 10 tribes? I don't know. So I'm going to draw a hand here so you can see what parts of the wing correspond to it, because wings really are just hands that have longer fingers and webbing in between them, or just feathers covering the entire thing if you're drawing a feathered wing. So that's my badly drawn hand. And so here you're going to have the upper section, and those are the places where it is on the wings. That's where it corresponds to. The next part above the elbow, right there, on the bird wing and right there on the dragon wing. Now for like the palm of your hand, or where all the fingers meet, I'll mark right there. Should be on the upper section of the top wing, right there and there. Your thumb, sometimes it shows in birds, sometimes it doesn't, depends on your design. For the dragon wing, sometimes it shows up there as a little spur, sometimes it doesn't. Now go in for the fingers. Those are just going to be the very, very long pieces that hold up the skin for the dragon. And they're kind of hidden in the bird feathers, but they still control the overall structure of the feathers. So let's say there's a couple over there, and then maybe something over there. I'm not good with birds, sorry. I haven't really interacted with a lot of birds either, I just kind of draw. So yeah, that's basically the parts of the wing that correspond to your hand. So here, now that you have the basic rigging, the 3 circles and then the long fingers, you can just draw them any position you want, really. Just look at your own hands for reference so that you don't bend them at some crazy angle. I mean, sometimes you could bend them because they're wings, not like hands, but the bases should be kind of built around hands. So if your fingers can spread out like that, a wing probably can too. And there are lots of different ways to draw wings, not just this standard way that I like to draw. Like, I've seen dragon wings that look like this and have their fingers all over the side. I mean, it's a dragon, you can draw them however you want. There is no dragon that will exist and come to your door and say, hey, you drew my rings wrong. My wings wrong. I can't talk today. So yeah, just use your imagination. You can draw them however you want. Birds is a little more limited, but I've still seen ways you could warp the wings into some crazy original design that looks really cool. I drew that N wrong. Oh. Anyways, yeah. Just draw them however you want, and if you need a little bit of I don't know, I'm saying is there's a way to draw it, but it's also a way just to draw it however you want. So if you combine them enough, and you know how the basic wing works, like a hand and an arm, then you can go off and design your own and go crazy with it, basically. So what else do you want to learn how to draw? I've gotten lots of requests to make a tutorial on how to draw hands or claws, but I'm working on that. What else do you guys want to see? Like how to draw expressions, how to stick the wing onto the body in the right place, or any of that really. Just let me know in the comments. And yeah, have a nice day.